And as we've been reporting, and Patrick did his monologue on the subject, environmental activists have been targeted a number of oil terminals this morning. The group called Just Stop Oil says it blocked 10 sites across the UK. Let's cross live to our reporter, Amelia Harper, who has the latest in Essex. Thank you for joining us this morning, Amelia. Give us the latest on this story.
Good morning. Well, the latest is that at least 6 people have been arrested as part of protests, as you said, at 10 critical oil sites across the country by Just Stop Oil. They're an environmental campaign group here in Essex. We're here at one of the sites here in Askew's Farm Lane, where there's an oil site just down the road behind me. And as you can see, just in the background, we've got an oil tanker here. We've got a couple of protesters here as well, holding up a Just Stop Oil sign. Behind us as well, there is also a man who has chained himself to the front of the lorry there, and they are essentially protesting against the UK's involvement in fossil fuels and wanting them to reduce the amount that we use. But here with me now is Laura Norton. You are one of the spokespeople here. Just tell me what has been happening today. You got here very early this morning. What's been going on?
Hello, Amelia. Hi. Yes, I'm not an activist. I'm not a protester. I'm just a mum, and I'm here because I believe in the Just Stop Oil campaign, and I'm here because I think the government needs to get a grip. I think we're asking that the government stop all new licensing and investigations into oil and gas. Gas and oil are destroying. They're destroying our climate. They're destroying our planet. They're destroying our economy. It's fueling wars, and we need them to stop. And it shouldn't be us ordinary people that pay for it. It should be the oil companies and the super rich.
Do you think this is the right way to go about it? Some people have said that maybe today is the wrong time to be doing this. We've got, of course, the war in Ukraine. That's put a huge amount of pressure on oil supplies. You've also got the situation where the energy price cap has gone up a huge amount, hundreds of pounds of extra bills today. Is this the right day for this?
Actually, of course we don't want to cause disruption, or obviously the war is extremely important, but I think that's another reason that we're doing this. If we can reduce our dependence on Russian oil, on oil completely, if we can reduce our dependence on that and switch to renewables, then we won't be putting money into the war, and we'll be helping people. Actually, if we develop renewables, they're the cheapest, quickest, the simplest, the safest form of energy. Actually, it'd be cheaper for everyone. It'll bring the prices down if we just stopped oil.
Looking at things like renewable energy, actually, in places like in the east of England, for example, in Suffolk, there's been a lot of that people have not wanted things like wind farms and so forth. What do you say to people who object to those types of renewable energy?
I can see people's point, and I do understand visually you can see a wind turbine. A lot of people don't like them, but I cannot say more strongly we need to just stop oil. If we don't stop oil, we're going to kill the planet. 3.5 billion people are at risk now from climate change. We need to just stop oil. And if that's wind turbines, then I think that's a much, much smaller price to pay than the end of civilization as we know it, and I'm not exaggerating. We need to stop oil now, or our children will have no future. And if that means wind turbines and solar panels, then so be it. But the price is a lot smaller than losing the planet that we live on.
I can hear you're getting emotional.
Sorry.
How are you actually feeling today? What are the emotions that are going through your mind?
I am so frightened, and I don't know how we're not all, it's like don't look up. I don't know how we're not all panicking. Our children might not get to live to 30. If there's climate breakdown, our children might not live to 30 because there won't be a habitable planet anymore, and people don't understand. We have to stop oil, or we're going to endanger the future of humankind. So David King, who was the chief scientific advisor to the government, said we need to stop oil now.
And Laura, just briefly tell me again what your plans are for the rest of the day, how long you are going to be here.
We're going to stay here until the government says that they will stop all new licensing and investigations into oil and gas. As soon as Boris Johnson signs that paper, we will move that instant. But otherwise, just normal people like us who don't want to be here, we will be here for as long as we can. Until Boris Johnson signs that agreement.
Well, thank you, Laura, for explaining what you're doing here today. It seems that they are going to be here potentially for a number of days. They say until the government de-invests, if you like, in fossil fuels.
Right. Well, Amelia, thank you very much. Amelia Harper there, looking to a completely normal individual doing a completely normal thing with their lives. Thank you very much, Amelia Harper, from the scene there. What do you make of that?
Yeah, I mean, I think that, the reality is wind and solar cannot meet our energy needs. It's incredibly expensive. It takes oil and gas and coal in order to even do some of the lithium mines involved in energy storage. I mean, the reality is just completely disconnected from the narratives, the emotional moralizing that we see on the part of these activists. If there was cheap green energy that supplied our energy needs now, I'm pretty sure that every single country would be moving to that situation.
Yeah.
The reality is it doesn't, and I think these people need a reality check, quite frankly.
Yeah, I think that's fair enough. I mean, that was... I don't like to use the word hysterical, because I think it's got certain connotations, but...
Yeah. But this is the thing. We have a geopolitical crisis right now. And I mean, when you have individuals that, can't really answer, simple questions in a dispassionate way.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that these are the right individuals that should be having huge sway over government policy that are going to affect the lives of millions of people.
This is it, and it's today of all days, isn't it? And don't get me wrong, it's going to rumble on, but so is the cost of living crisis. And if you've got people now, as indeed we do, who are seeing the household bills go up 54%, and you've got someone there who's saying, we're going to stay here until the government promises no new oil and gas in this country. And you think, all right, well, hang on a minute, are you paying for this at all then? How can they cope with the cost of living crisis? I mean, is she all right? She said that she was a mother. She was just a mum. She's not a protester, not activist. Well, I'm a grandson. And the idea of my grandma having to sit there in her front room with 4 jumpers on, or lose our house because she can't afford the bills or something. No, I've got to be honest with you, I'm more concerned about that as to whether or not we start drilling for something over there.
Yeah, and I think that these are the questions that really, really need to be asked. I just think that, people that are just saying we need to do this now, but we don't have any options. We don't have an alternative. The temperature right now in the country has frankly dropped on the same week as energy prices have effectively quadrupled to obscene levels. We need to do something. And it's not basically make life harder and more expensive for ordinary people.
No. Someone's been in touch to say that apparently Laura, the oil protester, it sounds like the worst children's cartoon character ever, doesn't it? But give that woman an Oscar. We're all going to die. It's completely ridiculous. And yes, then there you go. That's from Margaret. Thank you very much, Margaret. I would quite like to get Laura back on, actually, at some point, because I wouldn't mind asking her a couple of questions myself. I'm quite keen to know what she does for a living, for example, how she can afford to do this kind of stuff. It might be interesting as well to see, because the thing is as well, you've got to think, is she filling her child's head with the idea that it might not live to 30? That's a concern.
Well, we're hearing all this so-called climate anxiety and so on, which a lot of it is effectively just adults projecting their paranoia and anxiety onto children, which I just think is very sad, to be honest.
Yeah, some people are wondering whether or not Laura, the oil protester, was some kind of April Fool. No, not as far as we're aware. That's Laura. Good stuff. Right, OK, well, we're going to go to the news shortly. After the break, though, we're going to be discussing food banks. They've been reporting that there's been a dramatic rise in pensioners using their service. Anna Riley, of course, will bring us the story, but